We're here at the Youth Art Mural Workshop here at the Rec Room, and we're going to have a chat with some of the students and see if we can talk to Scott about what's been happening.
Yeah, so we're running some two workshops today, and we're getting young people to think about, I guess, telling their story, and that's what the overall mural design is going to be about, telling their story. We're getting them to think about a statement that says, once upon this time, there lived me, because sometimes what I find with young people is they tend to live their life through other people's eyes with Instagram, TikTok and that type of stuff. So we're wanting to get them to think about who they are, what about Port Augusta is important to them, and what makes them feel like they're connected to here, what makes Port Augusta home.
So can you tell us a bit about what kind of things that you're doing with the kids today or for the session? We
started off with a little bit of a drawing icebreaker just to get everyone to feel a bit comfortable in the space with each other. What they've been just doing now is just working through some questions that I guess try to collect information about what about Port Augusta is important to them as young people. What about, how do they support each other as young people within the community, those types of things. And that's sort of important for when we paint the mural, there'll be a story that's attached to it. What we're going to move on to next is we're going to be looking at creating some symbols to represent some of those things. And so they'll work through that. I always like to think about it as we're telling a new story, so we need new symbols to tell that story rather than sort of using the symbols that already exist within our culture. We've also done a bit of work on looking at what risks there are when you're working on a project like this, and they've sort of identified those risks and identified ways that we can minimise them. So what I really wanted to make sure that we did was to take them through the whole process so that they don't just see a finished piece of art and think that that's what it is. They understand that there's a whole process that takes place right back to someone just having an idea that they're going to start a project like this. Yep.
And also now you've done a few other mural projects around the town already. So can you just tell us a bit about your work and just a bit about your style of art?
Yeah. So I guess the most recent one was out at Volunteer Park. That was a reconciliation mural probably about a month or so ago. And then I've worked here a couple of times with a couple of artists from overseas, and we did some murals there. That was a fair while ago now. I guess my style is a bit more of it's very bold and bright, and it's something that I've just developed over a long period of time. And it's really about capturing stories and telling them, but in a very contemporary and modern way. We use aerosol to do it. We like to work big scale, and really put it in people's face, that we're here as Aboriginal people, we're still here and we're still telling stories. And
what do you hope the kids take away from this workshop when they go home?
Yeah, well, I guess the thing is I want them to continue to think about themselves, think about how as a group of people united together have a powerful voice. Sometimes youth, particularly Aboriginal youth's voice is lost within the big picture of things, and this is an opportunity for them to come together, tell their story, but then you hope they continue on thinking that, okay, as a group we've got some power now, we can, it's powerful working together, and maybe they can start to look at other projects that they can do together within the town themselves and change some of the things here. Port Augusta's not always had a great sort of history all around the treatment of Aboriginal people here, so if we can kind of lift their profile a little bit, and then that's got to be a good thing, right?
And so now, just before we go, is there anything else you'd like to add about the workshop?
I just think that it's great that that some people in the town, particularly SAPOL, had an idea and have supported the development, to this point, where we're at. And we hope the community, the wider community, gets on board and embraces what we create, learn something from it, listen to the voices of young people, and maybe break down some of those barriers that exist.
Well, we've had such a great time at the Art Mural Workshop. I can't wait to see the final product next year. We'll definitely keep you updated. And thanks again, and we'll see you next time for Umee TV.